Kingnoble Black Supremacy, and with this particular video I want to give irrefutable truth or irrefutable proof of the you that is inside of you. There's a you in you. Now in the video previously I talked about how you are not yourself, your cell, your jail cell, or your cells, because your cellular body completely replenishes itself every 7 years. So you couldn't be the same self physically. So you're not your cells. What you're calling yourself is an entity that is constantly transforming. And the only thing that holds the old version of you, the phantom self, is something within your psyche, because you're a new physical entity. So it's your mind and consciousness that maintains the continuity of your existence. So now I want to talk about the you that is within you. I want to give proof to show you that there's a you within you beyond your cell, self, or the cell, that which you call yourself, because there's different levels to this prison. There's different levels. There's a conscious overlay prison, and then there's the fourth dimensional prison, where you identify your physical body as being you, and it's not. And then you have this conscious overlay of who you think you are, which is a relative entity. And then there's an entity that is beyond this plane altogether, that is beyond this physical world. There's an unlimited being, that which formulates itself within and as consciousness, but it's even beyond the consciousness that it formulates itself as. So I'm going to simplify this for you. You are not you. And a good example to prove that is the selfie. Selfies is where people try to capture themselves with their Android or with their iPhone or with their laptop. They try to capture a picture of them. And they put into great work in how they angle the camera, how they point the camera at them when they take the shot. And then all of the stuff that they do to the selfie before it goes up to Instagram, the different effects and graphics. But that's what a selfie is. It's basically taking a picture of themselves in different events, situations, and circumstances to try to capture themselves on camera so they can upload it to their social media. Now, the selfie reveals how you are really not you. Because if you were you, you could just take a picture of yourself. You would need to try to angle the camera, get certain dimensions of you, get certain faces, certain smiles, certain impressions. If you just snapped the camera, that's you. It should have got you. You're there. You took the picture. But some aspect of every picture that you've taken and take is just still not you. You can look at a picture and the impression that it captured, you can say, well, that's not really me. I don't really like that picture. Why you don't like that picture? It's you. Well, that's because it's not necessarily you. That you live inside the thing or the being that is considered you. Somewhere you're up in there. And this physical body is just a mass that you're trying to see through. You are an unlimited being trying to do the best to project yourself through a limited reality. Trying hard. As hard as you possibly can. But you're in there. So you want to try to take that camera and capture you, capture the essence of you. But it never works. You change your clothes, your head wraps. You change your environments. You use green screens, different backdrops. Still not you though. Some part of you still feels unexpressed. Still feels trapped. Still feels like you're inside of something where you cannot be seen. And every picture, every photo is just an attempt for you to be seen. The whole idea of the selfie is for you to try to capture yourself. Notice, some people don't want others to take pictures of them without their permission. Don't take a picture of me. Because you know the picture that they take wouldn't be yourself. And you wouldn't want them to have a picture of you that wasn't yourself. Because you want to control the narrative. You want to control how you are presented to the world through this body. And this body and form could be presented in a way that doesn't really represent yourself. So okay, there's a difference between yourself and your body. And you use your body to communicate and express yourself, which it falls short of that. So the you that people see is really not you. It's a temporary projection. It's a vehicle. It's somehow where you're housed. It's the colors that you express through. But it's not necessarily you. You want to control what people see, what people think, and you're doing the best that you can do with this entity that you're housed in that's considered to be yourself. So there's a you within you, and this you has yet to be expressed. Only attempts, only efforts made towards it. Some people go to great lengths to try to express that self. But they realize that, they really, with all these selfies and social media, that really they just look like a lot of other people. So it's not even nothing that's so unique about how you look, which makes your infinite and unlimited self seem even more trapped in a limited form that is an entity that is very like a lot of other entities, when the unlimited you is really not like anyone. The true you is very unique, but the physical you looks like some other people, can be confused for some other people, can be mistaken for some other people. It's not you, and some part of you really knows that. But you're living through it and living with it and kind of making the best out of it. And those are the selfies that you smile in. Those are the selfies that you have a happy face. And the ones where you have a sad face is the ones that you realize that this physical entity really isn't you. Notice people they get in accidents where they're disfigured. The same person is still in there. The same entity is still within that body. But they're not being expressed by the physical self. Whether they had third-degree burns, or whether they just been disfigured in ways that we could not even imagine. The same being is still there. But the physical body doesn't express them or who they are, of which it really never did. Now we're moving into the era of facial transplants. You can have somebody else's face on your body, but it's still not you. You're there with a different face. How about now you got somebody else's face? How about the face that you have that's not you? You're in there. It's just a mask. This whole physical body is your mask. And it's symbolic that there is a you there, but it does not totally capture you. as though no picture can capture you. Whether you take a selfie at the highest of highest buildings, it won't capture the heights of your existence. It won't capture who you are. There's a you within you that is subject to how the you that is walking around, the you that other people are seeing, is subject to how that's perceived. What the narrative is on that, whether it's race, whether it's gender, they're subject to whatever that is. And at best they find ways to embrace these challenges and go beyond them, knowing that they're inside of that being. So those people who are enlightened discover the you within you. They discover the them within them. They don't get caught up into the physical illusions and perceptions and the physical entity. They use this physical experience in a complementary way to discover themselves, the real them. And that's what this physical plane can do. Because once you discover the real you, that's when you are enlightened. And that's when you reach high levels of compassion, because you know what others are dealing with. Because you know that they are not what you see. And they are subject to what is being seen. So you identify with the real aspect of every entity, which is beyond what is seen, which is beyond the physical. You tap into the unseen world. And you know the unseen is just symbolic. That the seen world is just symbolic for the infinitely unseen world. And that this is only a glimpse, if that much. It's even less than a glimpse of the real essence of who we are, where we're at, and why we're here. So you keep taking your selfies, but realize none of them are yourself. None of them are you. If they did, you could just put the camera on automatic and snap any shot, because it would be you. But it's just still not you, because the you that you are is not subject to the rules, laws of the physical plane, of this physical planet. It's not subject to social perception, media, psychological and manipulation, mass influence. The real you is not subject to any of that. Return to that real you. That's your real innocence. That's your real self beyond it all. That's the transcendental entity that you really are. Get back in tune with that. Return back to the essence of who you are. Don't get caught up into these physical illusions, dealing with vanity, and don't think that you could ever express the totality of who you are here. And I think the only way you can express it to any capacity is through divine compassion. I just wanted to touch on that. This King Noble Black Supremacy. Signing out.